No, there would be toys for kids. Like when they get older, so they're not just using dolls, and they have action dolls.
The funny thing is, after I opened him up, all I found was blood and organs. There was no treasure at all.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, our brand new day. It is gray and diffuse outside. It's supposed to be cooler. Thank God for that. So, no suffering and death today. Well, at least in this household. So that's a good thing. Well, at least from the heat. So that's good. I slept, mostly. And that's a good thing, so definitely a thumbs up on that. I went walkies. Oh boy, that was terrifying. It was hot. But I had to go out. I needed food, and my kitty cat needed food, so I couldn't not. She hadn't had anything to eat all day. That wasn't good. So I went out walkies. It was a shorter walk around town so that I could buy things at the store and just change my route so I didn't burn to death while walking. So thumbs up on that. And hey, front loading of videos, if you could, I've forgotten all the things though. If you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very awesome, very, very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that'd be very cool as well. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome. My shoulder always pulls forward because of my scoliosis. Without these people, I and my pets would be hosed like literal Christmas monkeys. So thank you to each and every one of these people. And if you would like to become a Patreon patron, there are links in the video description. If you'd like to help me out without sending any money through the patronage, boy, I can't speak English today. There are links to a PayPal, and if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, there's links to an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food on it. So thumbs up on that. Hey, front loading of videos over. Yay! So yeah, it's a brand new day where it's going to be not quite as hot. There are calls I have to make today. One is to try and get a local doctor set up in Shelton through the VA. So boy, I got to get that one done. Things where my back is up against the wall like that, I can tend to get done much easier than things that aren't. So, or don't, however that works out. So I'm going to hopefully get that done today. That would be a very good thing. I went out walkies yesterday, as mentioned, and oh boy, I can barely remember what I was thinking about just because it was like hot, and I, took my ADHD med late, so I don't know how well it helped me. Yay. But, oh goodness gracious, now I got the partial hiccups. I ate a graham cracker because I was like really hungry. Because I'm gonna tell the story, but I ate a graham cracker earlier, and now I've got all sorts of gas in my tummy that's trying to escape. Yay! My sincere apologies. But yes, what I was talking about yesterday was I was going to have to go to the store and write a check. I don't have any money in my checking account. I'm not writing a bad check. With the credit union that I am with, you can go up to negative 500 before they will stop honoring checks. So, the bank is going to, well, not the bank, the credit union is going to honor the check that I wrote. And I'm going to honor the check that I wrote just when I get my money. But since the bank will pay it and they're saying, okay, you owe us plus $28, I'm hoping that the check doesn't clear, so I don't have to pay that extra $28. But I needed to buy kitty cat food for my kitty, and I needed to get some sodas and food for me. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Again, luckily because of my credit union, not a bad check because it will be honored, and that's a very good thing right there. Taking a look at the rest of my list, oh yeah, I sort of occasionally think about streaming again, and I'd like to stream and go on streaming, but people like barely watch my videos, so I don't know how much of a streaming audience I would get. And even on that, I watched the video by this fellow called Drew Gooden. Maybe you're subscribed to his channel. I don't know. He's got almost 4 million subscribers. And he did this one experiment where he took a class by this one person. Oh, it was Ninja. And then did a stream where he streamed for 24 hours. So he let people know he streamed for 24 hours straight, and even with almost 4 million subscribers, he got like 3 viewers. So, I don't know. When somebody who's got a big name only gets like 3 viewers, what hope do I have when I'm these days? I'm only looking at getting like 100 views on a video, and some days I don't even pass that. So I don't know. Life is life, though. We shall see. I just wanted to mention that. And since I'm going to do this one real quick, this cosmic horror, Hoki, is one of the very few that we very rarely hear of in the cosmic horror framework. Unlike most of the other cosmic horrors, they are not very active in doing things. Gotzi Ray is traveling all about the multiverse, just curious about stuff. There is Erugatz, who is trying to map out and catalog the entire multiverse. Jimare, who is immobile, but sending out mycelium throughout the multiverse so that it's not just trapped. But Hoki spends all of its time in the Draylands, which is for us where our heads go, our minds, when we sleep. Quantum travel into the Draylands, Dream. And Hoki, after discovering it and finding out and getting involved and being able to observe us when we dream, that's what Hoki does. So very, very rarely does Hoki ever do anything that anybody knows about, because Hoki is one of the very few that actually just doesn't really do much. So just thought I'd mention that as a cosmic horror framework, cosmic horror. And speaking of cosmic horrors, I was thinking about this one because I like to have, like I've mentioned, a solid framework that I can bounce my characters off of. I was thinking last night while I was on my walkies, well, you know, when the people that live in Apple Rock, because of the compounds that are in the air, drugging them basically from the Kaiju, when they see scenes and evidence of horrific violence, that fills them with senses of, you know, hunkering down and community and just love for all of their fellow community members. It's just firing off all of this stuff for sense of community. Because of this, along with other things and the general callousness towards death on the people of the inside, it made sense to me while I was out walking that, you know, there's a lot of kaiju merch in Apple Rock, not just things like t-shirts that people make. No, there would be toys for kids. Like when they get older, so they're not just using dolls, and they have action dolls. You could have the kaiju that has realistic chewing action, where you just pick up the little people and you shove them into its mouth and it goes ang, 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 and then you have to open up the compartment on the bottom and shake all the people out that it's eaten. I am just thoroughly convinced that this is what would happen. To the point that also to demonstrate that it's not straight capitalism on the razor's edge, I was thinking of a situation where this one just normal worker goes wandering into a shopkeeper's store and wants to get one of these 26-inch figure dolls for their kid's 3-year birthday. And the shopkeeper's like, well, aren't you a bit old for this? And he said, oh, it's for my son. And to show community, the shopkeeper is like, it's for your son. Little Liam is having his 3rd birthday? Well, I have seen you about in the community doing as much as you can. You've even come in here to talk to me and spend time when you haven't had anything to spend. Normally, this figure would be a 69 royales to purchase. But I want you to have this, and make sure to give little Liam a happy birthday from me. And then write out the receipt and hand it out, because just sheer dollar amount and what it is made out of in recouping that isn't as important as community taking care of each other. And this guy was there for the community, so the community is there for them. Thumbs up for that. But yeah, it's that thing that they would purchase for their 3-year-old. I figure it's kind of a soft but very well made and highly graphic kaiju figure, with 2 handfuls of people and a big mouthful of bloody meat from the people it's been chewing on. So yeah, it's everybody just, they're used to it. It's normalized. You would see it around a lot. I would imagine it would even be used in posters. We're going to have a rampage of a Friday night with you. Ah! So we shall see. It just makes sense to me. Let me check out what else I have on my list here. Oh, yeah, somebody asked about this as well with mapping. Mapping the Apple Rock layer of the Razor's Edge is very difficult right now because geography is so fluid, especially on the Razor's Edge. You can't really map out the Razor's Edge right now. Yes, it is what's called the Apple Rock part of it is effectively a 1,000 kilometer stretch, circumference, a sphere that is based around Apple Rock in the middle. And everything within that is the Apple Rock layer, and things are roughly in the same place. Like Tenasket Valley is roughly on the western side of the Razor's Edge circumference sphere. And the door to the outside, where we are, is on the west, and the door to the inside is on the east. And there's a good, 1,000 kilometers separating those, with Apple Rock in the middle. But because of that, you can't really travel by foot anywhere. You have to use the glamours. If you travel by foot, because it is so unstable and so fluid, you are generating your own layer once you leave the confines of the stability of where you live. So by traveling by foot, you will never reach any place else. You are on your own personal layer. Glamours, though, as long as you know where you're going and you've been there, or you can get the directions from somebody who has, you can travel on a 1-to-1, as in 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer. If you're going to travel 45 kilometers over from Tenasket to Tall Ned, it's always going to be about 45 kilometers. You're never going to be able to reach it by foot, and it's going to be roughly over in this area, but until the area becomes more stable, it could be anywhere, really. Now, with the stuff that's happening in the Crimson Kingdom with their work on the mobile phones and how the network draws people in to increase the observation effect, in about 1,000 years, the Apple Rock layer of the Razor's Edge will be stable, completely stable, and an entire, it's 20,000, now I can't remember if it's 20,000 or 10,000 kilometers. Oh boy, but I haven't forgotten, that's just a momentary brain not working properly thing. That's entirely going to be stable. There's going to be boosters and the observation effect, and it's just going to be, you could walk from one side to the other and you would not need a single glamour. Everything will be so stable you can map it out. That won't last forever. Once the Crimson Kingdom falls and time passes and the network falls apart, it will become fluid again. But until that time, it will be solid and stable. You will not need the glamours to travel. That doesn't mean you can't use the glamours, and other people will still from other layers come in anywhere the glamours lead them to, but if you live there, you don't need them if you're just going to stay on that layer. So thumbs up for that. Do I have anything else here? Oh, there is sort of a thing where I've mentioned with glamours and such, it is a function of the universe. But I don't know how it works. I am only a 3+1 creature. I have height, width, depth, and time. I do not have the brain to understand any universe that's not mine. But in the inside-outside Razor's Edge, you have to use glamours to travel because everything is so fluid. But it's not there's no mind to it. The larger a singular object is, the more likely it is to be a glamour. Single molecule could be a glamour for you to travel. But there are so many more molecules on like a gigantic boulder that this is much more likely to be a glamour than this. A building is very intricate, possibly larger than the rock, but because it's made out of all these smaller, disparate parts, it is much less likely to be a glamour than just the big rock. But if you do have enough mass in whatever you have, there is an event horizon in the sky. It follows the ground, height and depth. You cannot cross that, you perish. If you could build something massive enough and big enough, it would push the event horizon upward. Because the event horizon is the glamours can't reach where there's no other glamour, so they only go so far. But if you have enough mass that big thing is a glamour, yeah, it's going to be able to reach further. Because if it's half a kilometer from the ground to the top of its head, if it's a gigantic golem, then yeah, the sky's event horizon is going to be from the top of its head up, not from the ground. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well. We have the Horror Files. Thumbs up and thank you, and good to see you in the comments. Jesse Koskinen. Excuse me. Daggerfall is incredibly confusing and difficult. Hokey smokes. I'm learning a lot playing this one. We have JAYY. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Confused Owl 29. Oh, thank goodness it's going to be cooler today, and good to see you in the comments. Loco 5. Thumbs up and thank you. And then when there's IB McFly, who's talking about an Osiris Rosen pose, and I have no idea what's going on with that. I asked about it. I got kind of a smart comment back. I've asked them to tell me what they're talking about. If they don't, or if it's just another smart comment, then I'm probably going to delete that thread. We have Ben B. Good to see you in the comments as well. There is Spartblats. Thumbs up and thank you. Good advice. Adrian. Thumbs up and thank you. There is J, and then a splat / asterisk, and then SON. So kind of like Jason. Thumbs up and thank you. Craig YAC. Greatly appreciated. And then that is it. 11 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up and thank you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and that is appreciated. Well, Hokey Smokes, as stated, I got some phone calls that I definitely need to make today, so hopefully I can get that done. At least one of them I'm going to get done, that's a definite. Yay! Hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done. That would be a very good thing. Don't beat yourself up if you can't. No need, no need. And of course, with diseases out there raging and people still dying from a pandemic, Please be smart, take appropriate precautions. You don't need to throw your body onto the end-of-life corpse pile. And if you watch this until the very end, thank you so much. It is appreciated very, very much. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.